Several new westerns are being released or have been released this month, with the latest takes on the popular genre moving away from the typical white male heroes and from the habit of objectifying women and marginalizing Native American characters. In June, multiple socially progressive titles arrive on the big and small screens, including Paramount Network's Yellowstone on June 20th. The film features Native actors like Gil Birmingham and Takala Black Elk in central roles opposite Kevin Costner in a story of a reservation challenging a powerful Wyoming landowner. In theaters now, on a limited release, is Nathan and David Zellner's offbeat comedy Damsel, which subverts the damsel in distress narrative on the plains with comedic results. Woman Walks Ahead, which lands on June 29th, dramatizes the true story of painter Catherine Weldon's journey to paint a portrait of Hunkpap Lakota Chief Sitting Bull, with whom she becomes friends. Susanna White, director of Woman Walks Ahead, notes that the genre had typically been a man's world. Today, she says, we're starting to see a lot more films now where women are thinking, more powerful people who have a voice just as men have had a voice in cinema for so long. Currently in development, Apacheria, a make-ready project starring Charlie Hunnam, is set to center on a mixed-race warrior. Empire of the Summer Moon will see Blue Valentine's Derek Cianfrance co-write and direct a film on Comanche Chief Quannapaca. There's been somewhat of a renaissance with opportunities for Native American actors and their portrayals recently, says Yellowstone actor Birmingham, who has appeared in two other modern westerns written and directed by Taylor Sheridan, 2016's Hell or High Water and 2017's Wind River. There's now a tide that wants to be more realistic of what the Native culture consists of. In recent years, select westerns had begun diversifying the genre's cast of heroes. 2017's Netflix limited series Godless portrayed a western town run by women, while Scott Cooper's Hostiles grappled with 19th century racism, and the second season of HBO's Westworld put a spotlight on Zahn McClarnon's Ghost Nation leader. Westerns that do away with some of the genre's tropes and archetypes are becoming more and more frequent. After Quentin Tarantino and the Coen brothers repopularized the genre starting in the 2010s, old Western projects with progressive messages are now seeing the light of day. Woman Walks Ahead, written by Steve Knight, was originally developed 14 years ago by producer Ed Zwick, and Godless creator Scott Frank says he began pitching the limited series as a film back in 2004. The genre was a tough sell as a feature, Frank says, due to the adage that westerns don't sell overseas. A few years later, Netflix was explicitly seeking out western projects, and literally overnight, it came together. The foregrounding of more diverse characters hasn't shielded today's westerns from criticisms of Hollywood whitewashing and cultural appropriation. Prominent Native actor Adam Beach, for instance, called for a boycott of Yellowstone last year when the reported Cherokee heritage of an actress playing one Native character was called into question. And among today's title, there are few Native Americans playing major behind-the-scenes roles, something which Frozen River producer and Native American cinema advocate Heather Ray is working to change. Why couldn't there be an entire track of westerns created by Native content creators that begins to confront those classic storylines and stereotypes that challenges those typical kinds of tropes, asked Ray. It seems to me that it's time for us to really disrupt the genre and start to see things differently. Birmingham, meanwhile, is more patient with the direction of the industry, noting that Hollywood continues to make slow progress on representation. You might not be able to create change as fast as you would like, he says. If you can find an advocate or an ally that can help facilitate that, respect it. On Woman Walks Ahead, White, who spent time in the Lakota community before filming, says she felt a responsibility to empower filmmakers from the community. She hired Lakota community members for her crew and former Sundance Institute native filmmaker lab fellow Willie White as her assistant. I wanted to have him shadow me so that in the future he could go out and tell those stories, she says. To read more on this story, head to THR.com. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Lindsay Rodriguez.